If you're a homeowner in Hampton Roads or you're considering becoming a homeowner in Hampton Roads, I've got great news for you. So recently, Money Talks News actually ranked the Hampton Roads and Virginia Beach area number 14 on their list of America's 15 most stable housing markets. So we're going to break down why Hampton Roads is such a stable real estate market where other markets feel like a roller coaster. So when we say stable, what I mean by that is that home prices, they don't whiplash up and down. They tend to chug along at a reasonable pace without crashing. In fact, home values here have nearly tripled since 2000, but those have come in like small bursts, small gains, steadily over time, not some crazy speculator frenzy. Downturns, they're pretty rare, and when we do have them, they're pretty mild. One analysis found that Virginia Beach had only about a 21% chance of home prices dropping by more than 5% in any given period. So compare that to a boom or bust market like Vegas, where the chance of a big drop there was almost 50%. So basically what I'm saying is Hampton Roads is the tortoise, Las Vegas is the hare, and we all know that story and who wins that race. So you might be wondering, well, what is it about the Hampton Roads that makes the housing market so consistent? So I'm going to give you a handful of reasons. The first thing is our economy. So the Hampton Roads area is not dependent like Detroit was on the automotive industry, where we're a one-trick pony. We have a strong and diverse economy with steady job growth. The military presence, as we know, is huge with 18 installations throughout the region. And so that means a ton of active duty military and defense jobs. So, those folks are always needing housing. And whether they're renting or buying, it really doesn't matter, because either way it creates demand for housing and gives us a reliable baseline of demand. I've thought about tourism for the area. Virginia Beach, the Sandbridge area, Colonial Williamsburg, Yorktown, Jamestown, even my hometown of Smithfield. We get a lot of tourists in this area. People are looking for second homes. People are looking for income-producing properties. We're a great region for that. We've also got a growing tech and cybersecurity and technology sector. Places like Jefferson Lab, Canon. These industries all work together to form a safety net. So when one industry may falter, the others are there to pick us up. And so our unemployment stays relatively low, like usually around 3%. So that's great. We don't see these huge mass foreclosures that people in other cities experience. So the second thing I want to talk about is our consistent housing demand, which we've kind of briefly mentioned. So the military influence is not just about jobs. It also means a constant rotation of people in and out. Every year, military members are moving in and out of the area. And this turnover actually creates stability because there's always someone looking for a home. The population isn't exploding, but it's not shrinking. The metro area, I know at the tunnels, it probably feels like there's 10 million people that live here, but we only have about 1.5 million people that live in the region. And our population is growing, but only at about 0.5% a year. So we've got a stable pool of locals, which is keeping demand solid, but we've also got people that want to live here long term when they separate from the military. So when the people that PCS or they move back home, leave, we've got almost an equal number of people that stick around. So there's never this sudden influx or exodus of people. It's a balanced flow in population. The other thing is our location. We have controlled supply and limited building opportunities because of our geography. We're kind of landlocked because of the ocean, because of the bay, because of the York and James rivers. So that keeps housing supply from overshooting demand. And you may remember, maybe not, that in the early 2000s, some markets really overbuilt their demand and then they crashed. So here in the Hampton Roads area, our housing inventory stays relatively tight. So last month, April, we were only about 2.5 months of supply, and that's about as high as it's been for several years now. So, and for context, a balanced market is between 5 and 6 months of inventory. So homes here are still selling relatively fast, roughly 3 weeks on average to go under contract. So that means buyers are out there. There's competition, that's healthy competition. There's a tight supply plus a steady demand equals no swings in price. So it's an Econ 101, if you will. The other thing I want to talk about is the smooth and steady price trends. So we don't have this double-digit growth or this double-digit free fall in prices. We have a gentle upward slope. So, the pandemic, when that happened, every housing market was experiencing double-digit growth. We were no exception to that. Prior to the pandemic, we were slow and steady, about 3 to 4%. Then we experienced the double-digit growth, but we didn't experience it like other markets did. And those markets that had 70, 80, 100% growth, price increases, they crashed, and they crashed hard. Ours was a milder growth, and because of that, this cooling off period that we're experiencing now, we're still seeing growth between, say, 1 and 7%, depending on the neighborhood and depending on the city that you live in. So while other markets were dealt a knockout punch, we just kind of got grazed, maybe got nicked a little bit. So prices here, they've fallen much less, if at all. And so when we do have a downturn, they fall much less than we experience in other markets. So that gives homeowners a great feeling that they know their investment is still going to be worth something, and hopefully more throughout the years. So we'll talk about, to wrap things up here, we've had rock solid job growth, or job base rather. We have military steadiness, we have consistent demand, we have limited overbuilding, and we have sane price growth. So all of those factors is what makes the Hampton Roads real estate market remarkably stable. So it's the kind of place where it's not some sort of casino where you're in the game 1 minute and gone the next. This is more like a dependable savings account where it's just going to be slow, consistent growth. And that's why Money Talks and News recognized us as one of their top most stable markets, which is awesome. So, we may not be the flashiest market out there, but it's stable, and I'll take that any day. So if you want to get into the real estate market, or if you have a home to sell, I'd love to talk to you. Give me a call anytime.